Today's lesson is called Giraffes, Long-Necked Mysteries. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
I'm Roger, and we're talking about giraffes again today. Remember last time we talked about how the West was introduced to giraffes. At least the people in France were introduced to this baby giraffe by the name of Zarafa. It was a gift from the ruler of Egypt to King Charles of France. But, of course, that giraffe had to make a very long journey, which was no problem for that young giraffe, but it was a problem for the handlers there. Giraffes can handle lots of duress. They can handle difficult journeys because of their great stamina.
They've got natural stamina. Yeah, a 900-kilometer trek. How amazing, how cool. Giraffes are kind of amazing creatures, but there's still a lot that we don't understand about them. Yes, they are most definitely long-necked mysteries. All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break. But don't go away. We'll be right back with more on giraffes after this.
Giraffes have several characteristics that are unique among mammals, the most obvious being their long necks. To counter the physical problems long necks could cause, giraffes have several special adaptations. These include blood pressure double that of a human, a system to prevent fainting if they straighten their necks too quickly, and super strong throat muscles to help them regurgitate food. Given the trouble such a long neck brings about, scientists still don't fully understand why having one is an evolutionary advantage.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 counter， 这个字是动词，指对抗、抵消、反驳。例如 To counter the effects of the disease, you should drink lots of water and get plenty of rest. 为了对抗这种疾病的影响，你必须喝足够的水和充足的睡眠。或是 These drugs should help counter the damage the disease does to your body. 这些药物能帮助你抵消疾病对你身体造成的伤害。再举一个例子 The politician was very clever and always able to counter his opponent's arguments. 那名政客非常聪明，总是能反驳他对手的论点。另外，这个字也可以是名词，指厨房操作台、柜台。我们可以说 Everything you need to make the cake is sitting on the kitchen counter. 你做蛋糕需要的所有东西都在厨房琉璃台上。或是 If you have any problems, go up to the front counter and someone there should be able to help you. 如果你有任何问题，到前面柜台，那里的人应该可以帮你。接着我们看到名词 Adaptation， 意思是适应、改编。例如 Cindy made an adaptation to the new school within a month. Cindy 1个月内适应了新学校的生活。或是 The play I saw was an adaptation of a true story about a family in America. 我看到这出戏是改编自一个美国家庭的真实故事。再来我们看到单字 straighten，这个字是动词，指把点点点伸直、变直，使挺直、厘清。例如 James straightened his legs and arms for a stretch. James 伸直了他的手脚，做了一下伸展。另外在 straighten 后面加上 out 就成了片语 straighten out， 表示成功解决、处理某棘手的事。像是 It took a while, but we finally straightened out the issue.花了一点时间，但我们总算把这个问题给解决了。接着我们看到动词 regurgitate， 指反刍。举例来说 Many birds regurgitate partially digested food to feed their chicks. 许多鸟类会反刍已经部分消化的食物来喂食幼鸟。再来我们看到单字 evolutionary， 这个字是形容词，指演化论的、发展的。例如The evolutionary scientists tried to find a reason for the animal's strange behavior. 那名演化论科学家试着找出动物奇怪行为的原因。或是 The book describes the evolutionary development of the transportation industry. 那本书描述交通运输业的演变发展。
All right, now giraffes, of course, are very unique. They're very outstanding in their own way, but they have several characteristics that are unique among mammals. So, yes, giraffes have these characteristics that only they have. They're unique and other mammals don't have them. A characteristic is a quality, a characteristic, a certain behavior or something of something that we use to identify that or to define it differently from other animals. So yes, they have different characteristics. Of course, you could use this to apply to people, to animals, to plants, etc. We could say that some of the characteristics of the Formosan blue magpie include its long tail, its blue feathers, and its unique social behavior.
There you go. You put those things together, you get a Formosan blue magpie. These are the things that make it what it is. These are its characteristics, or you could also say features. That would be a word that's similar to the word characteristics. Anyways, though, before we move on, it says that they have characteristics that are unique among mammals. Now, what is a mammal? A mammal is a specific type of animal. Okay, a mammal is usually an animal that is covered with fur. Okay, that's one thing. They also give birth to live young. That's another thing. No eggs are involved or anything like that. And then also, usually, mother mammals produce milk and nourish their children with that milk. So if you put those things together, you get a mammal. These are the characteristics of mammalian creatures.
So yes, most people would describe the unique characteristic of a giraffe as being its long neck. They have other unique characteristics, but that's the most obvious one.
There you go. Now more on the long necks. Why do they have them? Well, scientists think that they have some ideas about this, but hey, a neck that long, that can pose some difficulties, right? It's true. So to counter the physical problems long necks could cause, giraffes have several special adaptations. So there you go. Evolution has been kind to them. Yes, they've been given this long neck, and that can be a good thing, but it can also be a curse. So yes, giraffes, it says here, have several special adaptations. Yeah, when you evolve, you change slightly, okay, to become fitter, okay? And yes, when you change in this way, you adapt. You change so that you improve your function in some way. Yes, adapt is the verb. Adaptation is the noun.
Indeed. For example, many buildings need some adaptations so that handicapped people can enter those buildings. So indeed, the giraffes need to make some special changes because of those long necks. Otherwise, they're going to have some problems. So what are some of those adaptations? Well, these include blood pressure double that of a human. So like my blood pressure reading this morning was something like 120/75. So that's my blood pressure. So if the giraffe has a blood pressure double that of me, then that would be what? 240/160 or something like that. So that would be blood pressure that is double that of a person or of a human. Of course, if people have blood pressure that high, it could cause some serious problems there, but that's no problem for giraffes because they need to have that high blood pressure.
Yeah, how can blood get to their brain? They've got this long neck in between their heart and their brain there. So how is that blood going to get up there? Well, you got to have high blood pressure, and thankfully, nature has given this to the giraffe. Yeah, there's no way that blood could circulate that entire body, including the neck, if they didn't have a big, strong heart pumping blood with a whole lot of pressure. Okay, when the blood shoots the blood vessels of a giraffe, it does so with a whole lot of force. Anyways, yes, also a system to prevent fainting if they straighten their necks too quickly, and super strong throat muscles to help them regurgitate food. So there you go. Earlier we talked about countering physical problems that could come from having a very, very long neck, and now we're listing these special adaptations. Now we've already talked about blood pressure, but there's more. They also have a system to prevent fainting and also super strong throat muscles.
That's right. And, you know, just like people, sometimes giraffes get sick. They eat bad food, something poisonous. So, of course, you want to throw up. You want to vomit. So, of course, they need to do that, but because their necks are so long, gee whiz, they might not be able to get that food back out the mouth again. So they've got these strong throat muscles to help them regurgitate food. Regurgitate, of course, means the food comes back from the stomach up to the mouth and out, especially if you need to throw up, if you've eaten some bad food or something like that. So that's, of course, what they need to do in order to compensate for those long necks. They need to have those strong neck muscles, or at least in this case, throat muscles, the muscles inside the neck. Given the trouble such a long neck brings about, scientists still don't fully understand why having one is an evolutionary advantage. So, given the trouble, when you consider the trouble that this long neck brings about or makes happen, the scientists still don't really understand why they would need to have that. So when you think about the fact that a long neck requires double the blood pressure and it requires all those throat muscles, you'd think, gee, then why would these giraffes develop this long neck if it was so much trouble? Why would they do that? What's the point?
There you go. Maybe you can reach food that other animals can't. You can eat the leaves from the top of tall trees. That's an evolutionary advantage. But is it really worth it? Has this long neck really made life that much easier for a giraffe? Scientists don't know for sure. They hadn't gotten to the bottom of that quite yet. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Charles Darwin proposed that a giraffe's neck helped it eat leaves that other animals couldn't reach. But field research now shows that giraffes with the longest necks are less likely to survive food shortages. Long necks may help male giraffes win mates, but that doesn't explain why females also have long necks. More study is needed to solve this puzzle.
第二部分我们看到名词 shortage 指短缺不足，像是 During World War I, there was a food shortage in Europe. 第一次世界大战期间，欧洲出现了食物短缺。
Okay, so again, we're kind of asking the question, why do giraffes have such long necks? And I think most people think that, well, it's like Darwin said. They've got those long necks so they can reach the leaves that are tall or that are high on tall trees. So here in the next paragraph, it says, Charles Darwin proposed that a giraffe's neck helped it eat leaves that other animals couldn't reach. But field research now shows that giraffes with the longest necks are less likely to survive food shortages. So that kind of means that Darwin's theory is probably wrong. Darwin, of course, was the famous naturalist who believed in the theory of evolution, and he traveled to the Galapagos Islands way back in the 1800s, gathering information on different species there. So he was all about evolution, and he had lots of theories about that. And he said, well, they've got those long necks to reach those leaves. But since that time, we've got field research. We've got scientists going out into the field, going out to study wild giraffes, and the research shows that they're not so likely to survive if there's a food shortage, even if they have the longest necks. So that means it's not really an evolutionary advantage. Research here means you're doing some study about something, and research here is a non-count noun, so please don't say researches. They've done some research, or there have been some studies. A study can be countable, research cannot.
There you go. They have done studies out in the wild. Field studies, and what they found is interesting. Okay, Darwin said, long neck, that means you can eat food that other animals can't. Okay, so the logic should be this. Giraffes with the longest neck should be able to get the most amount of food that is unavailable to other animals. So you'd think, oh, during a food shortage, there should be plenty of food left around for these really super tall giraffes because they can get the food that the other animals can't. But get this, the opposite is true. During a food shortage, the giraffes with the longest necks are the least likely to survive, which is the opposite of how it should be if those giraffes have adapted to eat that food that is inaccessible to other giraffes. How interesting. So why have giraffes evolved in this way? It's still kind of a mystery. Now, long necks, it says next, long necks may help male giraffes win mates, but that doesn't explain why females also have long necks. So there you go. There's another head scratcher. So more study, yes, more study is needed to solve this puzzle.
Indeed. You might think having a long neck would turn on a female giraffe, but she's got a long neck too. Sorry, boy, I've got that too. I'm not impressed. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's move on now to the third part.
As the Earth's climate changes, we may actually be running out of time to learn about wild giraffes. Researchers have recently discovered that there are actually several giraffe species, but some of them are at risk of extinction. Giraffes may have the strength to walk to Paris, but for them to survive what's coming, they'll need our help.
最后第三部分看到一个单字 extinction， 这个字是名词，指物种灭绝、绝迹。举例来说 Scientists warn that this type of bird is close to extinction and needs to be protected. 科学家警告这种鸟类快要绝迹了，必须受到保护。
All right, folks, so far I've had a really good time reading about giraffes. Giraffes are wonderful creatures, but get this, I've got some bad news for everyone. As the Earth's climate changes, we may actually be running out of time to learn about wild giraffes. Yeah, wild giraffes might just vanish because of climate change. Oh no, yes, more study is needed to solve the puzzle of the giraffe, but we might be running out of time right now. We might not be able to solve this puzzle or to figure out this mystery because, yes, climate change is killing off giraffes, wild giraffes.
Yep, we might be running out of time. We don't have much time left. They may go extinct here before we learn more about them. And researchers have recently discovered that there are actually several giraffe species, but some of them are at risk of extinction. So species, different kinds of giraffes, okay? I bet you didn't know that. I thought there was only one kind of giraffe, but it turns out there are many different kinds of giraffe species. But again, some of those species are at risk of going extinct, or they're at risk of extinction. Extinction just means the animal or that species of animal disappears. They all die off like the dinosaurs. They faced extinction millions of years ago, 65 million years ago, or something like that.
There you go. If you're at risk of something, something bad could happen to you, okay? You are in the crosshairs, so to speak. Anyways, giraffes may have the strength to walk to Paris, but for them to survive what's coming, they'll need our help. There you go. Giraffes are awesome. They're great. But climate change poses a real threat to them. They might just all die off. There might be an extinction event when it comes to giraffes, and that's definitely not a good thing because giraffes are super cool animals. I would hate for them to go extinct. All of them are gone. They've all been wiped out.
They have, so you got to watch out for that. Time is short. Time is running out. We need to do more research to figure out just why those giraffes have those long necks. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分提到，为了对抗长脖子可能造成的身体问题，长颈鹿有好几种特别的适应方式。那这边用到一个补充单字 Adaptation， 那它是来自动词 adapt， 我们来学习它的字首字根。好 APT 这个字根呢，它有适合符合的意思。那么字首 AD 带有强调的语义。 好，强调适合符合，这是什么意思呢？当我们来到一个新环境或者在一个新团体里面，要让自己适合那个环境，融入那个环境或是团体，就要去适应嘛，所以 adapt 它就有适应的意思。还有像我们要把一本书搬上大荧幕的时候，你必须经过改编，截取适合的场景来符合电影的长度，所以呢 adapt 它还有改编的意思。好，那在 adapt 后面加上名词字尾 ation 就会变成名词 adaptation， 表示适应，或者是它有改编改写的语义哦。好，顺便补充2个单字很容易跟 adapt 混淆。第一个是 adopt ADOPT， 它表示采用、采纳或是收养。这个单字里面的 OPT 是当动词，表示选择。当我们要采纳某个方法或是采用某个事物的时候，就会做出选择。或是同学们也可以这样子想，虽然这样讲好像不太好，可是你自己生的小孩，你没有办法选择他的长相，对不对？如果你是收养小孩啊，领养动物，你就可以做选择了。好，那从这边这个 adopt 这个 OPT 选择来联想说 adopt 它有采用啊、收养的语义。好，另外一个字是 adept ADEPT，它可以当形容词或当名词。当形容词表示熟练的、擅长的或是内行的，当名词可以指行家、能手。同学们可以把其中的 E 来跟 expert 专家或者是 excellence 优秀杰出来做联想，就不容易混淆咯。好，读到课文第一部分的最后一句，他说 Given the trouble such a long neck brings about, scientists still don't fully understand why having one is an evolutionary advantage. 鉴于这么长的脖子所带来的麻烦，科学家仍然无法完全了解为什么拥有长脖子是演化上的优势。好，句子里面的 why having one is an evolutionary advantage， 它是由疑问词 why 引导的名词子句。我们用 WH 疑问词加主词加动词来形成名词子句，那它可以在句子里面当主词、当受词或是当主词补语用。像在课文句子里面，这个 why 的引导的名词子句呢，是当受词，也就是当动词 understand 的受词。另外要补充的重点是 given 的用法。Given 它表示考虑到什么，有鉴于什么，常常用来表示条件或是原因。那它的意思就跟 in view of 或是 considering 差不多。要特别注意的是 given 是介系词，它后面常常会接名词或是接 that 子句来表达考虑到某个状况的前提下，或是有鉴于某个状况。举例来说 Given the damage to the car, it's a miracle that nobody was hurt in the accident. 考虑到那台车的损坏程度，没有任何人在那场意外事故中受伤，还真是个奇迹呢。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Characteristic. Though the two books have very different plots, they have several common characteristics with regard to writing style. Mammal. There are only two mammals that lay eggs, the platypus and the echidna. Counter.Stretching can help counter muscle tightness caused by sitting for long periods of time. Straighten. Slowly straighten your legs a little more each time you breathe out. Research. The research uncovered a possible cure for certain types of cancer, but more testing is necessary. Shortage. Having received unusually low amounts of rain, the country is currently experiencing a water shortage. Species.Tracy wondered why there aren't any species on the planet that have 3 legs rather than 2 or 4.
Discussion Starter starts now!
It's our discussion starter for today, and here's the question. How would people react in your country if a local zoo received an animal no one had seen before?
I think people would flock there in droves and they'd be super surprised because nowadays people think that every single animal on Earth has been found. So if you were somehow able to find a new creature, an entirely new species of animal, people would be really surprised and excited to see that new species.
Well, they might be, but I think people would just rather stay home because they'd rather be spending their time playing with their phones or watching TV. Who needs to go out to the zoo to see that new animal? There's going to be thousands of people there. There are going to be traffic jams. I'm just going to stay home and relax.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.